Ready, set, go. You are now listening to the XFL Files.
It is Monday afternoon, and it was not an eventful weekend in the XFL because there was still a pandemic going on and there is no season going on right now. It's August. But in the XFL Files universe, it was a busy weekend because we have a very special guest joining us on the show today. Very good friend of ours, may I even say best friend and first-time recurring guest to the show. He's an NFL, NCAA, and XFL rules analyst, host of the Good Calls podcast on iHeartRadio, and executive producer of the film Her Turf that chronicles the jobs of 3 female referees. It is Dean Blandino joining us today. And Dean, how are you doing?
How's doing everything? Well, thanks. That was quite an intro. I love it. Thanks for – you had to bring up the XFL, though. I'm still hurting. We lost the season. But it's good to see you guys. And, I'm just happy to be on the show.
Yeah, well, we were all very sad when the XFL season was canceled. I know, Kevin, we made some tribute videos. We were all talking about how, we didn't like the uncertainty and how the league folded because we were all in. We loved the product. We loved everything that it had to offer. But when it got bought, we're very, very excited. I'm very excited to see what The Rock has to offer.
Couldn't have picked a better person when you think about it, right?
I know.
Garcia, I'm so excited.
They're perfect. But we got some questions to ask you because you were right up there firsthand doing all sorts of stuff. So we obviously were in the backseat, but Kevin, you got something to say?
Spence, before you kick us off, I just have one question that we don't have written down that came to mind. If the XFL reaches out here in the near future, you coming back?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, just making sure. We totally did not think of that.
So can we get like some clickbait of you saying, I'm coming home?
Yeah, sure. You could say I'm coming home. I don't know where home is. I've worked for so many, the NFL, NCAA, the XFL, even the Alliance of American Football. So I don't even know where home is.
Everyone wants you, Dean. It's no problem.
Yeah. It's a curse.
Well, all right. Not to cut anybody off, but we've already gotten through enough jibber jabber. We got some questions we got to ask. And Spencer, I think you want to ask the first one. So let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it. Given that your career has taken place predominantly in the referee, rules, analytics world, is there ever a scenario in football where you guys are the bad guys?
Man, it's hard. It's always, when I first got involved in officiating, that it wasn't something that I was interested in and just started as an intern at the NFL. And I learned right away that there's always someone that's mad at you, regardless. There's always going to be a certain group of people. You can be really, really good at what you do in officiating and people still think you're an absolute moron. And it's not. It's just not a good place to be sometimes.
So as an analyst, I'm sure you've also made some controversial statements that people get mad at you. Talking about everything that you've done as an analyst, you talked about NFL, college football, now the XFL. When you're looking at the play and judging officiating, what were some of the key differences for you when you looked at the XFL in comparison to the NFL or college football?
Yeah, I think the thing with the XFL, it was new, or at least this version was new. So it didn't have the following yet, right? NFL fans, college football fans, there's years and years and years of tradition and things like that. So they're passionate. XFL fans, it was more, people were just kind of intrigued by the newness of it and all the different innovations. You got to actually see the replay official make the decision and hear what was happening and listen to the coaches make the play call. So I think the XFL, it was less, I don't want to say less pressure, but there was less, pushback or fallout after you'd explain something, because NFL, obviously it's the most popular sport in this country and people are just so passionate about it.
Now, I know you mentioned it earlier that you were part of the AAF when they were around in the Spring Football League, but what do you think the difference was between the XFL and the AAF and why the XFL has another chance to come back with The Rock now purchasing it?
Yeah, well, obviously the biggest thing was just the financial backing. The AAF, that's what really kind of killed that league. Was, you know, they brought in the people that were backing it initially. That money went away. They brought in somebody new that really didn't share the same vision as the people that had started the league. So it just kind of went away. The XFL, obviously with Vince McMahon, the financial backing was there, but no one who could anticipate what was going to happen in the world and the country with the pandemic. And I think he just made a business decision that I have to look, the WWE is my legacy. That's my most important part of my business. I have to save that before I do anything with the XFL. So I think what the XFL really showed, though, with good television partners, with Fox and ESPN, and how they presented the games, and it was just new and fresh. And I think people, you know, the fact that you guys liked it, I think a lot of people just around the country liked it. And I think with The Rock and Danny Garcia and that group, you know, the financial backing is going to be there, and I think the vision is going to be there. So I'm excited about it.
So sort of related to the XFL and based on the players, he's been out of the league for a little while, but Dean, you're a Hofstra alum. So is Marquise Colston your favorite football player ever? I'm just curious.
That's a great question. I love that. So Marcus Colston, I go back though. My favorite, Marcus Colston is probably number 2. My favorite NFL player who went to Hofstra, you guys might be a little before your time, Wayne Corbett. Wayne Corbett is the ultimate. He was the guy that the Danny Amendolas and the Julian Edelmans, they kneel at the altar of Wayne Corbett, the possession, the third receiver, the possession guy, the guy that's going to get you the first down. Hofstra alum. When I was there at Hofstra, so that's my guy.
So he's not your favorite. He's not your favorite player, but are you guys best friends?
Not like I'm best friends with you guys. Like he's an
That's what I'm
acquaintance.
talking about. Okay. Trick question, and you answered right. But one more question about Marquise Colston. I know he's been out of the NFL and football for a little while, but what are the odds? Can I get a percentage? What's the percentage of him coming to play in the XFL when The Rock takes over?
Yeah, I think it's very low. I'm going to go, I won't say never, but I'm going to go 4.6% chance that he'd come back. He's
calculated answer. Very good.
That's a good score. So you're saying there's a chance.
For a long time.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
Am I up? Is it me? Oh,
yeah.
totally blanks. My bad. All right. So
this is why we don't have 5 people booths.
So we were freshmen last year in college, and we had to record some of the stuff like in one booth with one mic. So we're pros. But okay, so this is a big one. We argued about dropping this one first because like when you agreed to come on, this was the first question we all thought of. We were very excited because we're fans of the jacked ref revolution that's come over the past like 5 years. Yeah. And we had some rumors of the officials going back and wearing shorts for the XFL. So all of a sudden week 1 rolls around, there's a couple games in Texas, and the refs are wearing black pants. What was up with that?
No, there was never any. We were never going to go shorts. Shorts was more scrimmages and things like that, but it was always going to be black pants. And it was actually, it was interesting. We had designed a kind of a different officials uniform. And it was ultimately, it was a little bit kind of, it was kind of cool and just trying to make officiating sexy again. And, but ultimately Vince and the leadership team, they wanted to be more traditional. So we went more traditional, black and white stripes and black pants. But the jacked ref revolution, it's real. It is. Thing. I mean,
we got to get that on a T-shirt. Make referees sexy again. I'm wearing "Make Coffee Great Again" because I was a barista. I don't know if you can see it on the back, but absolutely. And I forgot about that. They went like an NBA, like dark gray for a second, right?
I remember we saw a picture of that. I think we talked.
There's a picture online, and it's like a dark blue, and people like TV loved it. We did it for a scrimmage. That was a kind of a practice with the networks, and they loved it. And ultimately, Vince didn't want the officiating to kind of be, front and center. So we just went more traditional black and white stripes.
This show was very behind the new ref uniforms. That became a segment on one of our early episodes. We were very pro sexy ref uniforms.
Well, what's funny is that officials, we had to like make rules for, Ed Hockley, the grandfather of the jacked referee revolution. He would take his officiating jerseys and they would get fitted And then he would take him to the tailor, and they would get even, he'd go with that schmedium. And then all these guys started doing it. And you see some of these college referees, there was Big 12 referee Mike DeFee. He just retired. I mean, Mike never skips arm day. I mean, never. And, and it's so funny because these guys, they get upset when it gets too cold because they know they got to wear long sleeves. And it's definitely, it's not as fun a game when it's a cold weather game.
Yeah, we're big ref fans in general. Henry and Ed Hockley actually go way back. They've been talking for what, like 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, so it's funny enough. One of Kevin and I's friends from high school, there was a rumor back when in our high school radio
we're gonna have to
station
delete this part, I think.
that Ed Hockley and our friend's mom were dating, and we started this rumor and convinced our whole radio station that Ed Hockley was dating our friend's mom.
That is so cool.
But I actually
I wish I would have been a part of that. I really do.
No, it was really fun, and it was actually funny. One of my other buddies and I were calling one of our high school's football games. We were calling like the JV game, and then Kevin and another one of our buddies were calling the varsity game. And he came up, and I was like, "Bro, did you know Ed Hockley is dating Ben's mom? Ben is our friend." And Kevin looks at me and goes, "No way." And he believed it, and it was hysterical.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I actually got a follow-up question to Kevin's question. How much do you bench?
Oh man, I haven't benched for like weight. I'm more of a, as you get older, you go more like high reps, less weight now, and I'm doing more like yoga and things like that. I haven't been to the gyms are closed out here in California anyway, but I might have to go back and get on the bench and just see what I can do. But
I've been saying that
whole life.
Yeah, I've been saying that
reps.
since I've been 16 and quit football.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
You see, I
proven.
You don't have to power lift. I mean, what are we doing?
No, it's a proven winning strategy.
Henry, listen to the man.
No better way to start the day than a 15-minute downward dog. Just get it.
Exactly. That's a long downward dog though. 15 minutes.
That's not the one that I would go with.
The bloods go rush into the head there. You're gonna pass out, Ricky.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the one on your stomach. Oh, I messed that up. Still, 15-minute yoga. That's the way to go.
I do have one question.
Ricky's the guy that doesn't talk as much, but when he does come in, it's usually pretty solid.
Oh, his mother is gonna love that. She is gonna be your biggest fan now.
Can you not start a rumor that I'm dating Ricky's mom?
Oh yeah, no, I won't start that rumor. Don't worry.
You've got some tough competition.
It's
probably
funny,
our biggest fan.
You are not only our best friend, but you'd have to beat out a very, very strong man to get to Ricky's mom. His name is Joe Weeps. He runs a motivational Instagram on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find it at Motivation to Start Your Day.
I'm going to check it out.
Great content. I think you'd love it. But another ref question I wanted to ask is, do you think any of these refs skipped leg day? Like, do you think they like pants because, shorts, you have to see how big your legs are, and, they might have some skinny legs?
Have you watched if you watch games from even the early 2000s, and when they wore the white pants that were more like baseball pants, they hated those. And because if you have skinny legs, I mean, it looks ridiculous. So when the long black pants came in, officials rejoiced. They were all over it.
So we were in our like early years when that transition happened. I don't know when. We were probably 7 or 8, but so much stuff's going on that happened and we didn't even realize it.
If you watch the old game, remember during the quarantine, early on, they were showing these old games. And even for me, and I was at the NFL at the time, I'm like, oh my God, the white pants. I was like, that was a thing.
Yep. You're watching Steelers, Ravens, a Sunday night football game from 2009. That's you'll be amazed.
So can there be a petition to get shorts in the game?
I mean, it's professional looking, and I mean, we could do it. It's going to be kind of hard in the cold weather. I don't think you want to wear shorts in New York in December. But I'm all anything that's going to make. Like I said, the goal is to make officiating sexy. Anything that's going to do that, I'm in.
Calves are sexy. Quads are sexy. 5.5-inch inseam shorts for the refs.
You know what the sexiest thing is? Being gritty. That's what's sexy. And so moving on away from shorts, I don't know if Kevin told you this, but we're all journalism students at the Cronkite School of Journalism here at Arizona State. And the one thing that we were taught last year, the biggest thing all of our professors harped on, was that we are only supposed to ask yes or no questions. So true or false, who could blow a referee whistle harder, you or Mike Pereira?
Oh, Mike Pereira's like 80. 100%.
Can you prove it? Do you have a Fox 40 on you? Because I do.
You know what's funny? Do you have a Fox 40? You know what's funny is that's a dinosaur now. You know what kind of whistles? What? Yeah. You know what whistle? Because of the pandemic and because of COVID, it's all electronic whistles.
No.
You're going to see no more blowing.
What?
Because they don't want officials going to their mouth.
Oh, with the COVID, the big C, we call it.
The big C, exactly.
So what do they do?
So they're going to have electronic whistle. You hold it, you put it on your belt, and you touch it, and it blows a whistle. And there's different types of tones. Like you can pick a different tone, and one is the Fox 40 tone.
Oh, well, like
one is in the Club by 50 Cent, and one is Fox 40. So you can pick different. But yes, it's an electronic whistle.
Wait, so I'm going to piggyback off that. So the reason why I was able to pull one of these bad boys right out of my backpack, thank God it was right there, is Joey and I are actually – so people try to hit it big in journalism. It's a competitive industry. So we kind of got a foothold in the officiating industry first, and we're intramural officials here at Arizona State. Cool. Nice. So we do flag football, we do basketball, we do volleyball. So what tips can you give us?
Don't take anything personally. Just kind of maybe wear earplugs. I mean, that's a big thing. I can imagine at ASU, you probably have, intramurals is probably big. I think it's great. You're going to make extra cash and who knows, if you show some aptitude, maybe we'll get you, you want to work Pac-12 games next year. That went from plan B as a profession to plan A in about 2 seconds. All right.
Well, I'm hoping to be up there in the booth with you, kind of judging the guys.
That's the best. We're all good. We're all excellent video officials, right?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
And you use controllers too. We do that a lot. We were just playing some Madden like 5 minutes ago.
I use my Xbox when I run video. Yeah, my Xbox remote.
Yeah, there we go.
So are you an Xbox guy though, or a PlayStation guy?
I'm probably more of a PlayStation guy because I have young kids, so we have the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
And I've gotten like addicted to, and I played this when I was a kid, but I got addicted to Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't, like this game is crazy. But yeah, I played, PlayStation and Madden and everything else.
So we have a PlayStation. That's what we mainly run in 558. Are we going to have a Madden tournament?
I think we might have to.
Okay. Just making sure.
I have mine back home. I'm ready to go.
Just making sure.
You ever play Madden and then get mad at the computer referees for getting the call wrong?
Oh, 100%. And then I would go every year to Orlando to meet with the EA people to go through the new rules, because they would incorporate them into the game. And then we talk about different things officiating. But yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, no joke. I did not make this up on the spot. And I hate to bring up, a past occurrence, but I was playing Ricky in Madden like this morning or yesterday, the days all blend together. And I get a toe tap ball to the front left pylon with CD Lamb. Or was playing Ricky or Henry.
You're playing me.
With CD Lamb. In the front left pylon, who's wearing number 88 for the Cowboys. And it was a blown call on Madden.
What play could you be referencing?
I don't know.
Cowboys involved in a call, which was, look, hey, people always Cowboys fans still hate me for that, but you know what? It was the right call at the time. He didn't catch it, and there's nothing I could do. It was actually a pretty easy call when it came with the rule at the time.
That was about the only thing we can find on the internet when we researched you, was just articles about the did Dez catch it or not.
I know.
Actually, Kevin, what Cronkite taught us was to research our interviewees beforehand, And I actually found that, Dean, you were in stand-up comedy around like 2005. So can you like tell us a joke?
See, that's like, yes, I did stand-up comedy on the side. I was at the NFL, and that's such a, like, Walter Cronkite is turning over in his grave right now because you asked, oh, you did stand-up comedy, tell me a joke, ha ha ha, like that. Come on.
How long was your set? How long was your set?
You're the guy that comes in and I listen. When Ricky's mic went unmuted, I was like, okay, something good's coming. And then you come with that? Come on.
How long was your set?
It would depend. You know, I did a lot of like open mics, and you do like, 10 minutes. And it was actually fun. I love doing stand-up comedy, and it helped me. It helped me in my career, just public speaking and getting up in front and talking to coaches and owners. It's a lot of fun, but it's definitely intimidating to go up in front.
There's nothing that if we do some more research, can we get you canceled or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
No.
We don't want to get our best friend canceled.
I think the most controversial thing I did was if you probably find the Cowboy Bus episode. That was probably, but that I don't think I get canceled for that.
We'll find it tonight.
Yeah. Let me know. I think
I actually can't because I have to go to my intramural officiating job in 2 hours, but someone else will.
Dedication.
I was going to ask a follow-up question about you being a stand-up comic. How did it help you like think on your feet and, switch and change conversations when they needed to be? How did stand-up comedy help you kind of grow into your role at the end in the NFL and with the NCAA and then eventually the XFL?
Ricky, were you listening to that question? That's more along the lines of like a journalism student that actually pays attention in class. So it definitely does, because every audience is different. And, you could have a joke that goes really well with one audience, and then it's like this other audience just didn't like it. And so you have to think on your feet. You have to kind of feel the room, feel the crowd. And so you have to know, look, when you're presenting to players, it's gonna be a different environment than if you're talking to owners. It's just different. They're just, you have to understand your audience. And I think that's something that I always, kind of took away from stand-up comedy.
I'm going to shift away. I've got one more question I want to ask, and it's kind of random, but what player do you think is going to succeed the most who got from the XFL, who got signed in the spring or / summer? Which guy do you think will and might have the most success in the NFL?
That's a tough one. I know PJ Walker, he was obviously probably the MVP for the first 5 weeks of the season. I think he can stay on an NFL roster. I think he's talented. I don't know if he could. I don't know. You look at the quarterback, certainly his size is a factor, but you look at the quarterbacks today with, Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson has been obviously successful, where you don't have to be 6'4", 6'5" to be, a starting quarterback and be successful. So I think he's a guy that could be successful. And, I know there was the leading receiver, and his name escapes me. I think he just signed with a club.
MV Cam Phillips.
There you go. That's the guy. So he's a guy that I think Cam Phillips could be a guy that is successful as well. And that was a great thing about that league, is you got to see players. What's unfortunate today is with COVID, no preseason, how many of these players that would have made, Wayne Corbett, my guy, would have never made the Jets had it not been for preseason. And I think that's the tough part right now.
So our one final question, I lied. That last question was not my last question, but do you have any questions for us? It's your turn to interview us.
Are you guys all on campus right now?
3 of us are in the same room.
Yeah.
So what is
the same apartment?
What is campus life like in the middle of this COVID? Like what's different?
Awesome. It's amazing. Ricky and I, we live in the same, Ricky, and Joey here live in the same apartment, and me and Ricky and I, we don't go to class on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So we just go to one class. I go to one class on Tuesday morning, and everything else is like online or at your own pace.
Everything's online, really.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Lots of cooking, lots of Madden, lots of free time.
So
Yeah,
that, I mean, we
I
used to do that in college, but we had to skip class for that. Now you guys are just, this is all part of the curriculum.
Right.
We may or may not be in class while it's happening.
And you guys might be in class right
I
now.
was just about to say, I
It
don't think we
be.
are, but
I'm
yeah.
going to say 3 out of the 5 of you are getting college credit right now during this.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I'm getting
But
paid
what's-
too.
but
I'm
I
also
guess-
at work.
The downside, though, the social life must be different, though. Is that
Yes.
are like, is there anywhere? Are you allowed to like go and hang out in large groups, or is that just kind of off?
No.
we can't really do that, but Kevin, I'll take this. I'm
Yeah.
interrupting you, but
No,
we
please.
kind of have like a friend bubble.
Sure,
So
sure.
like, I mean, the 4 of us, obviously Spencer, you're still at home, but the 4 of us are kind of in the same bubble, and then we have some other friends who we
Sure.
hang out with. But other than that, I mean, we all live in the same building, so we all hang out with each other, and we don't really see anyone else outside of our little sphere of people.
Yeah. And do you, if I were to say to come and I want to be a part of your bubble, would there be a screening procedure? Would I have to get tested? And then like
24, they've got, well, we can sneak you into the COVID test center, and then you've got to fill up like a tube with like 5 inches of spit. And then 2 days later, once that comes back negative, we can it's going to be us, the 6 of us. And then we're going to get Nick Fitzgerald and Tyler Heineke from the St. Louis Battlehawks. And then, I don't know. And then Henry will get Ed Hockley, and we'll do a Madden tournament in the friend
All right,
bubble.
it seems-
And my girlfriend.
Flex.
Yeah, no big deal. I have a girlfriend, but
Might as well
Yeah,
put
so,
my
like-
girlfriend in there too, Hank.
actually, last question. One more question. Do you want to come hang out?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm going to start to get busy here with football, but no Pac-12, but we're going to get some Big 12 football hopefully, and obviously NFL.
I actually do have a real quick question. So from your perspective, being involved in college football, we see conferences that are trying to play. Do you think it's feasible that seasons will play out?
Yeah, it's going to be, who knows? I mean, the one thing I've learned throughout this is you just don't know what to expect. I mean, there was a game, right? Saturday night, there was a game, Austin P and who was the other school?
Central Arkansas, I believe.
Central Arkansas. And first play from scrimmage, 75-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to, again, I think that COVID is going to dictate what happens. And if you have a breakout in multiple schools, it's going to be tough for a conference to continue. But hopefully that's not the case. And we'll be playing football in the fall and maybe playing football all year this year, right? With winter and spring. It'll be interesting.
And the Big Ten and Pac-12, both networks that are on Fox sometimes, do you think they made their decisions too early?
I don't know. I don't know everything that went into it. It's obvious, the health and safety is the top priority. And the thing is, everything, it just changes day to day. So you could have everything in place and make a decision, and then 2 weeks later, the numbers are down, and maybe we could have played. So, I think that's what the SEC and the ACC and they were waiting. Okay, let's wait till the last possible moment to make a final decision, because things could change. And I think that's what, that's why some of those conferences may still end up playing.
All right. And Mr. Blandino, that's all we got for you. Thank you so much for
It's Dr.
coming on.
Blandino to you.
Oh, yeah.
Professor of practice on the field.
There you go. I didn't go to officiating medical school for 20 years to be referred to as Mr. Blandino. Okay.
Well, but thank you so much for coming on, joining us on the podcast. I know we had a great time, and Kevin, you're going to cut this out, but we were wondering if we could get a little sweep review saying, like, I'm Dean Blandino and you're listening to the XFL Files or something like that.
Hey, I'm Dean Blandino and you're listening to the XFL Files.
Yes. But thank you so much for coming on. I mean, I had a great time. I think I speak for all of us saying that. But we hope we can have you on again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be a real recurring guest.
I'd love to. And you guys, seriously, you guys are doing great. I like the mix of, like, there's serious questions. You have fun with it. You don't take yourselves too seriously. I think Ricky's got to work on his, I was a big fan early on, and now he's going to work on his presentation a little bit. But yeah, no, I'd love to come back.
Awesome.
Well, we really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Looking forward to seeing you down here in the fubble, the friend bubble.
Yeah, I'm in.
We'll run some sticks.
All right, man.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.